It's good to see you guys again. In today's video, I'm going to go over if it's possible to work two work from home jobs, depending if there's 40 hours each or it's contractual. I just want to break it down a little bit for you guys. In my last video, I talked about how your careers and businesses are changing, so it would be interesting if people are going to take advantage now that they're working from home, if they're going to try and do two jobs at the same time. And I'm going to break down for you the pros and cons about it. Welcome to SimpleChew. I'm your host Hank. I've been an accountant for 10 years. I also run a resale business on the side for the past 5 years. And if you've been following me for this long, I thank you very much. And hit the like button because it will help me a lot. Also, if you're new, welcome. I suggest you to subscribe and also hit the bell so you get notifications of all the videos I post, which I've been posting every Mondays and Fridays. I usually talk about investment education, resale education, and also accounting practices. I also created a new playlist where I'm going to be putting videos about taxes. Also, I have an ebook for free for you guys on my website, www.simplechew.com. So where are the advantages of working from home? Just working from home is already an advantage. It's a benefit that you can work anywhere in the world as long as you have internet. You don't have to be in your hometown to do the job or the work for your company. If you're gonna be working two jobs, two work from homes, the benefit is now you get in two incomes. You get in two streams of income, which is very beneficial if you're trying to save money, trying to buy a house or something, or you just need the extra cash. It would be important to keep the two jobs happy if you're gonna be working two jobs at the same time. I think if you were working on a project in one job, job one, you should do your best, put your 110% on that, and then if you have another project on job two, you should definitely put 110. But you need to negotiate how you're gonna do that if it's possible for you. I think it's a personal thing, depending on the type of job or industry that you work in, that you will have to find a way of, okay, I know how to automate this. I think you have to learn a lot of automation. I think if you're working for a company that is more into the results and not too much about having you be present, I think it's going to be very beneficial for you if you're going to be juggling two type of jobs. Because if they just focus on your performance and you're putting great performance in job one and then you're doing the same thing in job two, I think there's not going to be any issues there where one job is going to be noticing that you're slacking or you're lagging on your responsibilities. But I think that I know a lot of jobs, even though they are 40 hours a week, a lot of the time it's just downtime. There's not a lot of heavy lifting in some of the jobs, so you might find the opportunity to work on your other projects. It's great if you can find a job that is just focusing on your performance, because now you can capitalize on your time. I think your time is super valuable, and now if you can put it to work on two things, or maybe you can find even three jobs or three different companies that need your expertise, and now you have three companies paying you, two companies paying you for your expertise and delivering the product or delivering the service that you are good at. I think it's going to be really beneficial in the long term. You're going to be making more connections. You're going to be becoming better at what you're doing, so you're gonna be better at your craft. And I think is the way to go nowadays in this new environment that we live in. I think if you're gonna be working from home, you don't have to travel that much. You can do whatever you can just focus on work. You can work at any time. You can work anywhere in the world. So it's gonna be really beneficial for you to learn if you can actually be working for other companies at the same time. So now I'm gonna go in the negative part of working two jobs at the same time, two work from home jobs. And I think the first one is that you need to be careful on the contract that you sign with your company. I think if they sign you in for 40 hours, I think a lot of companies are still old school like that, where they think more of hard work and not smart work. And you have to be really careful to make sure that you're following their guidelines of being present and being on time and being there in the company, because some companies still value that. And I think it's something really important to be always on time. If you have to be somewhere in like a job that has to be in site, or a job that you have to sign in on a specific time and sign out in a specific time, I think it's important to follow those guidelines, because it just shows how professional you are. It shows that you respect their time, and you are committed to that company, and you are passionate about the project that you're working on them. And it doesn't have to be true at the end of the day that you don't have to be super passionate about it, but you might be passionate about the career. You might be passionate about the industry, but you have to show that you care about the company and all that. And I think some companies really care that you are putting 100%, even more, just on their projects, and you're not thinking other people's project, other companies' projects. So that can be difficult. I think that is something they have to think about. Another thing is if you actually sign a contract that's saying that you have to be present in job one for 40 hours a week, and then you find another job that says, okay, you also sign a contract that you have to be there 40 hours a week too. So it could be really troubling now, because you promised these two companies 40 hours, and now you have to give 80 hours a week if you try and keep them happy, and you have to work on the hours. So one company, you might have to work from 7 to 3, and then the other company you work from 7 to 11 or whatever. You have to find a balance. You have to find a way of separating the two jobs hours, and that is another negative there just in itself, where if you have to put 80 hours, not everybody's going to be able to put 80 hours. People have life work balance is going to be all over the place. You're going to be sacrificing a lot of family time, recreational time, and health time, because it's not good for you to be sitting down, depending on the job you're doing. Especially if you're working from home, you're definitely working sitting down, and it's going to be really bad for your health. So you need to think about all those things at the same time. Even though I know it's going to be downtime, how I said, there's some of the benefits of some jobs, you still have to be present, and you're probably going to need a bunch of equipment. So you might need 2 computers. That's another negative thing, because you don't want to use job 1 computers and resources to do job 2 projects and workflow. So you will have to do 2 computers. You will have to have a really excellent internet, because now you're running two computers. You might be doing some heavy stuff in it, and you don't know what it could happen, or like you don't know what kind of connection you might need. Also, if they provide the computer, it's beneficial, but if you're using your own equipment, your own computers, you can use remotely signing into their network, you might need 2 expensive computers to run everything you need. And the last thing is, if you're working 2 jobs that are in the same industry, and they might be competitors, or they might not want you to be working on other companies that are doing the same thing, because it just doesn't look good for you or the company, because you might be leaking codes, or depending on the type of job you do, you might leak secrets. So if you're working for like a ketchup company, and then another ketchup company wants to work with you, job 1 might not feel comfortable that you're working on another ketchup company. It just doesn't look really good, and it just could be, you can scare off one of the jobs, and that you might get fired for it. So I just something to think about. Maybe if you want to work 2 jobs, maybe you should work in 2 different industries. Maybe you're in finance, and then you're on programming, video games or something. So you have to think about how to work in 2 different industries, but still apply your expertise that you might be needed. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully after watching this video, you start to think that maybe there's a way that you can work 2 jobs. I think it'd be really smart, because there's endless possibilities. You can work from anywhere in the world. You can work anytime. You can sign in and do the job that you need. You just need to be careful with the contracts of the companies you're signing in, and not use their research and equipment and all that, because it could be, that's company's property. Everything you do in that computer is that company's property. You don't want to do somebody else work in that computer. But I think having 2 income streams nowadays is really possible, especially with this whole working from home thing. And it'd be interesting to see in the future how this whole plays out. Maybe it gets bigger, or maybe it's gonna become crashing down and it's not gonna work. Companies gonna get smart and be like, okay, we can't do that anymore. But it'd be interesting. And always remember, guys, keep it simple.